Computer-aided process synthesis, Chapter 1, Synthesis of Heat Exchanger Networks, second lecture. Now lecture content is temperature interval method, that is, and terms used in the heat exchanger network synthesis. Temperature interval method. Now, the temperature interval method was developed by Linhoff and Flavor following the pioneering work of Hoffman in 1971. It is a systematic procedure for determining the minimum utility requirements overall possible heat exchanger network given just the heating and cooling requirements for the process streams and the minimum approach temperature in the heat exchanger, that is delta T minimum, and consists of the following step. The temperature interval method is having a total 3 steps, general steps. First step is adjusting the hot and cold stream temperatures to bring them to the surface, same reference. Means in the question you are having a target temperature and source temperature, so both you need to for both you will write the adjusting temperature. Second one is determine the temperature intervals. We will write the temperature intervals number 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and carrying out the enthalpy balances in each interval by formula delta H is equal to delta C into delta T. We will calculate the enthalpy for particular interval, and then computing the enthalpy cascade, the residual enthalpy flows, and determining the location of the pinch. Where the pinch point exists, we will locate that point, and computing the MER targets and minimum energy requirement targets we will calculate. So first example of the temperature interval method. A typical heat integration problem, the temperature interval method is used for the calculation of the MER targets for delta T minimum is 10 degrees Celsius. It is given that minimum approach temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. The table shown the questions data, right? First streams available is total 4 streams are there, 2 hot stream and 2 cold stream, H1 H2 that both are hot stream, C1 C2 both are cold stream. Now Ts is our source temperature. Source temperature for H1 H2 C1 C2 is given. Now target temperature is also given. Delta H can be calculated by C into delta T, 180 minus 80 into 100 into 1, that is 100, that we have already seen in the last lecture 1 content, right? So how we'll calculate this temperature interval method? The first step of this method is adjusting the temperature. Now we'll adjust the hot stream temperature by delta T minimum. How we'll adjust? So first figure here, first figure is shown that it is the given data available. So adjusted temperature is shown here. Now how will adjust? Will minus the delta T minimum from the source temperature. So we'll write the 180 temperature minus delta T minimum, means here it is 10 degrees Celsius, so it is 170. Now 80 minus 10 means 70 degrees Celsius. For H2 we'll write the 130 minus 10 is 120 degrees Celsius, and 40 minus 10 means 30 degrees Celsius, right? 30 degrees Celsius. For cold stream we'll write the temperature as it is, will not minus delta T minimum. So 60, 100, 30 and 120. Now what will our second step? Second step in the general step that is given, will decide the interval. How will decide the interval? In the decreasing order of the temperature we'll write the interval. means here 170 they've written that T0 means that is our first interval T0. Similarly, what will be the next temperature? Here 120 is our next temperature, decreasing temperature, so in decreasing order, so it is T1. Now we'll not write the 120 for 120 120, we'll write only T1 for both the temperature. Now third one, that is T2 temperature 100 degrees Celsius. Now what will be the next? 70 degrees Celsius, that is T3. T4 is 60 degrees Celsius. Similarly, next temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, so that is T5, right? So how we can write the temperature intervals, that you should know, right? So up to T0 to T5 we have written here. First 170, then 120, then 100, then 70, then 60, and then 30. Now how will calculate the enthalpy? Next step is calculation of the enthalpy. So we'll calculate the delta H1 by formula of delta C into delta T. Now for the first interval we will calculate. First interval means T0 to T1. T0 is 170 here and T1 is 120 from adjusted temperature. And what will be the CH and CC? So CH and CC, if you are having 170 to 1 in 120 interval, how many stream is included? You need to see that. So in 170 to 120 only H1 stream is present. So that how you can know that H1 stream only present, that is you need to see from the adjusted temperature table that 170 to 120 you are having only H1 stream present in this interval. So you need to write only specific heat of the H1 stream, that is 1, that is given in this table. H1 stream is having a 1 specific heat, so H1 is only present, so delta H1 is 50 kilowatt. Similarly, T1 minus T2, T1 is 120 and T2 is 100, so in between 120 to 100 interval, which streams are present? H1 stream is also present, H2 stream is also present, and C2 stream is also present, right? So for that you need to write for hot stream specific heat 1 plus 2 minus cold stream 1.8 specific heat, that is specific heat of C2 1.8. So that is delta H2 is 24 kilowatt. So this table is shown the calculation of the easy calculation of the delta H. Now for delta H1 and delta H2, that we have already seen, right? So what this gray part is showing? Gray part is showing that in 170 to 70 degrees Celsius H1 stream is present. Up to 120 to 30 degrees Celsius H2 stream is present. Up to 100 to 60 degrees Celsius C1 stream is present, and up to 120 to 30 degrees Celsius C2 stream is present, right? So this is the graph is showing. Now this is the temperature interval T0 minus T1, T1 minus T2, T2 minus T3, T3 minus T4, and T4 minus T5. That will give you the delta T. and sigma ch minus sigma cc. Now you can see from this gray and black graph that which stream you need to calculate in specific heat, delta C part. So 1 plus 2 minus 1 by delta H up to delta H2 we have seen. In the third interval 100 to 70, how many streams is present? H2 is present, H1 is also present, C1 is also present, and C2 is also present. So we will write the specific heat of all these streams. And in the fourth interval 70 to 60 degrees Celsius, which streams are present? C1 is also present, C2 is also present, and H2 streams is present. H1 is not present here. So we'll write the three streams specific heat and calculate accordingly. And in the fifth interval H2 stream is present and C2 stream is present. 2 minus 1.8 and delta C is 0.2 and delta T is 30. Multiply by 0.2, it will give you 6. How this calculation is going on, you should understand that, right? Now next our step is what is the last step? Computing the enthalpy cascade and residual enthalpy flows. Enthalpy flow we need to decide and determine the location of the pitch. So this is the last step. This is the cascade of temperature intervals, energy balance, and residuals, right? This is the last step of the temperature interval method. So first delta H1 enthalpy is written here 50, delta H2 is 24, delta H3 is minus 84, delta H4 is minus 38, and delta H5 is 6. That is written. What are the temperature intervals written here? That is the starting temperature of all the intervals. That is 170, 120, 100, 70 and 60. That is written here T0, T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5, right? Now what we will do in the first pass, we'll add the 0 kilowatt energy. Means for the heat utility we have assumed that we are not adding anything. So R0 is equals to 0. Energy flows between intervals. R0 equals to 0. 0 plus 50, it will give R1 as a 50. 50 plus 24, it will give 74. 74 plus minus 84, that will give R3 as minus 10. Minus 10 into minus 10 plus minus 38, that will give you minus 48, and minus 48 plus 6, that will give you minus 42. Means how much energy we need to provide, that will decide from this first pass, right? So here in the highest minus number we will consider as the final pass energy in the positive manner. So that is R4 minus 48. We'll add the 48 kilowatt energy in the final pass. Then 48 plus 50, it will give you 96. 96 plus 24, it will give you 122. 122 to plus minus 84, it will give you 38. 38 plus minus 38, it will give you 0. 0 plus 6, it will give you 6. So finally you can say that at QH is equals to 48 and QC is equals to 6. Means hot utility is 48 kilowatt you need to add in the heat exchanger network, and 6 is QC, means for the cold utility 6 kilowatt energy is required. So here in the fourth interval it is shown that pinch point 0 means pinch point. Now what do you mean by this pinch point? Pinch point means at the location where hot stream and cold stream have minimum difference in the temperature, so the heat transfer cannot be possible. At the pitch point, heat transfer does not occur, right? So this is how we can calculate the uh, utility requirements, minimum utility requirements, minimum targets, and pinch point from the temperature interval method. This is the decomposition network that is uh, drawn here, that is 180. First H1 and H2 temperature 180 and 280 degrees Celsius, 130 to 40 degrees Celsius, and 100 to 60 degrees Celsius C1 temperature, and 30 to 120 degrees Celsius C2 temperature. At the pitch point, temperature is 70 degrees Celsius at hot side, so that will be at the cold side it is 60 degrees Celsius. So it is written for the hot side 70 degrees Celsius, and in the cold side it is 60 degrees Celsius. Specific heat is written for particular stream, and at the pitch having utility requirements 48 kilowatt and cold utility requirement 6 kilowatt. This is how we can draw the pitch decomposition network from the cascade diagram of the temperature interval method. Now, what are the meanings that you have seen that I have said minimum approach temperature. But what do you mean by the minimum approach temperature? If I explain you earlier, then you cannot understand what I've said, what I've explained. But now you can understand what do you mean by minimum approach temperature and pinch point. So as I've said, pinch point is the location in the heat exchanger where the temperature difference between hot and cold fluid is minimum at that location. That we have already learned. But what do you mean by minimum approach temperature? Minimum approach temperature represents the smallest gap in the temperature across which heat transfer will occur in the system. And this often only occurs at the pitch. The temperature difference between the leaving process fluid and the entering service fluid, that is the minimum approach temperature. That we need to decide for the heat exchanger network the appropriate temperature. Means if 10 degrees Celsius, what is the heat utility requirements, minimum utility requirements that we need to calculate for the total cost. For example, if air is cooled from 300 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius using 90 degrees Celsius cooling water, means cooling medium is cooling water and it is at 90 degrees Celsius. So air temperature approaches the water by 10 degrees Celsius. So 100 minus 90, that will give you the 10 degrees Celsius, right? That is the minimum approach temperature for particle air cooling. So in the Cedar and Cedar, the first temperature interval method that I have already explained, that is given. But in the second book, Bigler, the another method for the temperature interval method solving, that is given. Any one of the method you can use. This is the second example for that is given. This method is given in the Bigler book. So particular source and target temperature is given for the total 4 stream. MCP data is given. The specific heat per particular streams is given 20 into 10⁻3. That is the that kilowatt is given. Now we will start from the hot and cold side temperature. So what we will first do, we'll write here in the table 250, that is written in the bracket. Now bracket in this table means adjacent temperature, right? So first we will see the highest temperature in this total 4 stream, that is 260. Now we'll write the 260 at the hot side, and existing temperature delta minus 260 minus 10 means 250, that is cold side. Now highest next temperature is 250, that is at the hot side, so means that is present in the hot stream. So we'll write it is it at the hot side 250, in the next 250, and then 240, that is uh, 250 minus 10 delta T minimum, but 240 is already the next highest temperature, so that is not the exact temperature, that's why we have not written it into the bracket. Now next, what are the exact temperature? Next highest temperature 235. So 235, that is in the cold stream, so we'll write in the cold side, and we'll it is at the cold side, so we'll add the 10 degrees Celsius and we'll write the exact temperature 245. Next highest temperature is 180, so it is in the C2 stream, so we'll write it is at cold side, and we'll write the hot side plus 10, 190 degrees Celsius. Next highest temperature is 160 degrees Celsius, so it is in the hot stream, so we'll write the temperature at the hot side and minus 10 cold side 150 degrees Celsius. Next highest temperature is 130 degrees Celsius, that is at the hot side, so we'll write the 130 degrees Celsius and minus 10 120 degrees Celsius, that is also present in the cold stream, so it is not the adjusted temperature. Now after that we will see the presence of the streams. Now in which these are the intervals 1 2 3 4 5, these are the intervals, right? So where this is 250 to 240 first interval, 240 to 235 second interval, 235 to 180 third interval, 180 to 150 fourth interval, and 150 to 120 fifth interval. Similarly for the hot side, so we'll see the which streams are present in the first, second, third, fourth and fifth interval. So for the C2, here we have seen the C2, so we will for our C2, that is having a temperature into 180 to 240, so C2 is present in up to 240 to 180, means up to here third interval, and C1 is present into 235 to 120, so 120 means at the last interval to the 235 up to third interval, right? So now we can sum up this C1 and C2 CC. Now in the first interval none of the cold stream is present, so it is 0. In the second interval only C2 stream is present, which is having a specific heat 40. Here it is Cc into 10 raised to minus 3, so 40 into 10 raised to 3. Now in the third interval both streams are present, C1 and C2, so it is 60. In the fourth interval only C1 stream is present, so it is 20, and in the last interval, fifth interval, it is having a 20 specific heat, right? So we can calculate QC from it. QC means C into delta T, so it is 0 for the first interval, it is 0. 40 into 240 minus 235 delta T is 5, so it is 40 into 5 200. For the third interval 235 to 1 minus 180 means 55 into 60, so 3300. Similarly for fourth in 180 to 180 minus 150, it is 30 into 20 means 600, and 150 minus 120, so it is 30 into 20 means 600. It is given here. And for the hot side we can calculate the presence of the H1, that is 260 to 160. and its specific is 30, and H2 250 to 130 means from the second interval to the last interval it is present. So it is having a specific in 50, 15. And CH how we can calculate the summation of the streams present. In the first interval only first stream is present, so it is having a specific heat only 30. In the second interval and the third interval and fourth interval, both streams H1 and H2 is present, so it is 30 plus 15, 45. And for the last interval only H2 stream is present, so it is having a 15 specific heat. So how you can calculate the QH from delta C into CH into delta T. So here for the first interval the temperature difference is 10 degrees Celsius. So 30 into 10, so it is 300. Similarly 250 minus 245, 5 into 45 means 225. Similarly for the third interval 245 minus 190 into 45 means 2475. Similarly for the fourth interval 190 minus 160, so it is 30 into 45, 1350. And 160 minus 130, so 30 into 15, that is 450, right? So this is how we can calculate this table. Now next we can draw the cascade from this data, delta H1, delta H2, and delta H3, delta H4 and delta H5. How we can calculate this delta H? So QH minus QC, this is how we can calculate the delta H1, QH minus QC. So this is the data in 10⁴. So 300 minus 0, here it is 300 minus 0, that will give you 300. Similarly 225 minus 200, that is into 10⁴. But in the delta H1 it is written into 10⁴. That's why it's 30. It is 22.5. It is 82 minus 82.5. This is H4 1350 minus 600. This is 75, and this is minus 50, right? So for the first 5, what we will let QS is equals to 0, means hold utility that is equals to 0, we will add into delta H1. So 0 plus 30, it will give you R1 30. 30 plus 2.5, it will give you 32.5. 32.5 minus 82.5, it will give you minus 50. Minus 50 plus 75, it will give you 25. 25 plus minus 15, it will give you 10. And after that, whatever highest minus number that we have, we can include as a final pass. So here minus 50 is the highest minus number, so we'll consider 50 as an final class QS for steam utility, which is having 50 kilowatt. So we'll add the 50 kilowatt. 50 kilowatt plus 30, 80. 80 plus 2.5, 82.5. 82.5 minus 82.5, it will give you 0. 0 means here in the fourth interval it is having a pinch point. So the third interval it is having a pinch point. 0 plus 75 plus minus 15, it will give you the 60. Means the total here at the pinch point temperature for the hot side is 190 degrees Celsius and cold side it is 180 degrees Celsius. So this is another method that is given in the Bigler. Whichever method you want to use, you can use if you found that is easy from both the method, right? So this is the QH minus QC calculation, that is that will give you delta H, and it is shown here. So this is the second method. Now conclusion is pinch point temperature for the hot side it is 190 degrees Celsius, cold side it is 180 degrees Celsius, and steam utility is 50 kilowatt, and cooling water utility it is 60 kilowatt. Requirement means MER minimum energy requirement target is 50 kilowatt and 60 kilowatt, right? This is our conclusion from this method. So reference used here it is Systematic Methods of Chemical Process Design, Bigler book, and Product and Process Design Principles, that is Warren D. Cedar and J.D. Cedar book. So thank you. This lecture is over. Please like, share and subscribe this channel, Illimitable Chemical Engineering. Thank you so much.